Good evening, esteemed professors, distinguished guests, and honored participants. It is with great pleasure and pride that I welcome you all to this eighth online interactive session organized by Delhi School of Professional Studies and Research, an institution committed to academic excellence and leadership development. At DSPSR, we believe in creating the opportunity to bridge the gap between academic learning and real-world corporate insights. Today's session, Leadership Development, is a testament to that mission. We are confident that this session will empower each one of you with valuable insights and practical strategies to grow as professionals and leaders. I, Dr. Mukta Katyal, Assistant Professor, College DSPSR, be delighted to have Ms. Bhavna Chauhan, our session speaker, Sri Dhyan P.S. Chauhanji sir, moderator of the session, joining us today to share their insights and experiences. We welcome you, sir and madam. Before moving further, we shall proceed with the lighting of virtual lamp, a tradition that symbolizes the dispelling of darkness and awakening of knowledge. May the light of learning continue to guide us upon our path to growth and leadership. I request Madam Ishita to play the video.
कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम्
Talent management, diversity and inclusions, and people development across varied industries sector. She currently serving as a central head HR at Auto Ignitions Limited. She leads a team overseeing pan-India HR operations and has been instrumental in securing the great place to work. Her innovative strategies have significantly increased workforce diversity, growing female representation from 2% to 23%, and integrating 5% of differently abled employees into the workforce. A certified trainer and auditor, she is also a recipient of a prestigious Governor's Award and India's Achievers Award. Madam, we are honored by your presence and we look forward to gaining from your vast knowledge, inspiring journey, and visionary insight. We welcome you, ma'am.
Thank you so much. Really honored to be a part of this session. Thank you.
Yeah. Now, I would like to extend a warm welcome to Sri Dhyanchand sir, a managing director of Amazing HR Services Private Limited and a former senior vice president HR at Equative Health. He is a master in HR from premium schools with engineering background, having proven track record of 23 plus years in leadership role in entire spectrums of talent acquisition, HRM, and corporate. His vast experience with organizations such as RM, RCM, it is a Chicago-based company, Melton, Gillette, Quesit Diagnostic, and HCL Technologies make him a backbone of wisdom in the field of leadership and human resource. Sir, your valuable presence adds a great strength to today's event and to all our participants joining us from different places. We welcome you, sir. I again extend a warm welcome to our esteemed speaker, our respected faculty members, and most importantly, our participants. Your presence here reflects your commitment to learning and your personal growth. Let us make this 1 hour a truly enriching experiences. Now, I would like to hand over the session to Sir Dhyanchand, sir. Sir, please kindly take over the session.
Sure, thank you so much. Bhavna, it's a request if you can mute your video on. Even if you're in car, it's okay, no problem. Yeah, the world wants to see you. Okay, see, you are one of the people in this country where you have received Governor's Award for something in HR. Can you take this forum maybe in 3 to 5 minutes around what you did actually? You have to unmute your microphone.
Yeah. All right. So I hope that I'm audible. And maybe I'll
Yeah,
try
you
to
are.
keep the phone close to my ears because sometimes there is disturbance. Pardon me for that. So it's a very well crafted question that if I won that accolade, then what made me to reach there? So I would like to put across there are only two things that led me to there to be where I was. One was my value system. Now, this value system doesn't come in a day. And the second is the passion with which you try to drive yourself and the internal motivation that leads you to be where you are. This journey had been a very, very amazing journey because this Governor Achievement Award was an outcome, but the input was because of my family, then my school, and then later on, the environment in which I started working. So, when you start working, it all depends on the kind of flexibility and the thought process that is instilled in the initial stages of your working when you start as a management trainee, or for engineering students if you start like a GET. It is the most important aspect of your life. Plus, one is the environment that you get, and the other is your permeability to that environment. It's the most
What
important thing.
exactly did you do? What exactly did you do which got governor's attention?
So basically, my entire thought process as HR was to focus on skill development. It's always been there that skills are the most important aspect of any human resource. Knowledge you can acquire, skills is what you can gain and add a flavor to your knowledge. And therefore, I opened Skill Development Center in 8 centers of Haryana. When I say 8 centers of Haryana, these were the centers which were meant for the deaf people. And introducing skill development centers and then taking them into a model of self employability is what exactly I did, and for which I was awarded the Governor's Excellence Award. The outcome of this activity of skill development was that first time ever in history of the deaf community, we were able to take them to Surajkund's craft, International Surajkund Craft Fair, earning a revenue of around 92,000, plus opening of an outlet for the deaf people wherein we created small help groups and they started working towards it. Now, as an HR, my role was very prominent in building teams, building cycles of internal control processes, motivating the deaf students and the teachers, and then also rewarding them. So it was a very
Perfect.
holistic perspective, both ways. One is economic and the other one was social.
Okay, let's talk of skill development. Let me pick it up from there. One of the model which DSPSR follows is that the placement process start from the time of admission, not after the person has finished the course,
Mhm.
which means that there is an aptitude assessment, and industry people like us, me and you, basis that assessment, uh, pick up our own foster children. Then whatever is the requirement of our office, for example, in case I pick up somebody for recruitment, or if I pick up somebody for sales, or if I pick up somebody for compensation management, or if I pick up somebody for performance management, those courses are added as extra classes for a period of 2 years under
Mhm.
supervision of the mentor who is picked up.
Mhm.
And after 2 years, same people are put across for placement with the mentor. And in case they qualify the selection process, they are taken in. In case they fail the selection process, they go back to the college. What do you think about this? Question one. Question two, in case you think this can be a model which can be adopted in the industry widely, what would be your thoughts? or caution or enablement? Question number
Okay.
three. Question number three. There is one more question. What if Bhavna adopts 5 people and Bhavna is fired after 6 months,
And
and the
Bhavna?
cycle is fired after 6 months, and cycle
Mhm.
is of 2 years.
Mhm.
So, what do you think are the ways to counter the commitment between academia and the industry? So, three questions to you.
So, the first, when you started laying the context of the three questions, I could only gather, because there was a miss of voice, I could only gather that the students are put under a mentorship program, and then after that,
See, model is very simple and it's a working model. It's not something new. It's a practical model where placement process doesn't start after the completion of the course.
ठीक है मान ली बात
Placement placement process starts from the time a person joins the institution
all right.
and starts studying. So,
Hmm.
along with his regular education of university,
Hmm.
he's also given knowledge of industry-specific work which he is supposed to do for his employability with someone else. Let
Okay.
us say compensation management, then he will be taught everything about compensation, the legalities around it, what is
Hmm.
job evaluation,
Hmm.
what is
Okay.
compa ratio,
Hmm.
how to calculate a compensation, how to make a breakup, how to give increment letters,
Hmm.
etc. etc.
Hmm.
Now, this person is plug and play for the industry.
Yeah.
So after two years, when he completes his education, he joins the mentor.
Hmm.
So question is, what do you think about this program? Question number two is,
Hmm.
what do you think in case this program is implemented widely in the industry, what will happen? Number three is a negative question, which is like, in case Bhavna doesn't stay in the organization for whatever reason, she leaves, company asks her to go or whatever,
Hmm.
for 2 years, then what do you think? What do you think college should do that this program is perpetual?
All right. Great. Fine. Now I've got your point, and I'll answer one by one. So the first question, that this is not a new program and colleges have been doing it, and I appreciate the association of professional courses along with the induction of any student. The problem is not in the framework of the program. The challenge lies in the acceptability of that framework within the minds and outside. The second challenge is the interest you are able to develop. My experience says that many of the students take up these courses because it is a requirement rather than it is an interest. The interest is
And what do you
something.
mean by that?
Okay, so I'll tell you what. Many of the professional courses are taken just because it is an addition to your qualification and your learning, but the students are not very interested. I'm not generalizing it, but many of the time I have seen students are not interested. Now they take up because they want an added flavor, added number to their resume. The program framework needs a moderation in terms of inculcating interest, and that interest has to come through wonderful case studies and role plays that suffices and builds interest in students. It is also a dilemma in the minds of the students that they pick up a particular course, or they study a particular, they attend a particular class, or they go through a particular chapter because the teacher is good. The moment teacher is not good, they lose interest. And therefore, it is very important to assess what a student wants while these programs should continue. And the most important thing is, for creating that interest, real life situations through internship programs and projects should be organized. This is very, very important. And in those internship programs, the industry interface should be able to really look at the student, tap the output, tap the mindsets, and industry professionals should give a feedback back to the college, the areas of improvement. And that is where the college should again look at those and try to suffice it through individual mentorship programs, and that is going to help the students. The component of feedback plays a very, very important role back and forth between industry partners, college, and the students, and that makes them successful. I have very big live examples. I have one management trainee I have one student who's doing her internship and did a wonderful job and in the project. And there was another student who, coming from the best of the college, could not do a 2 months good internship. It was only just because for the heck of the project was taken up, but the person did not have the interest. And in the similar role, when I looked at that the person is not able to cope up, in 2 months of internship training, I changed after 1 month to another area, and the person did well, fantastically well. And when she did fantastically well, can you believe? The outcome was I gave her the project of developing a newsletter for the company. And that is how I mentored and trained her. And after this girl did her 1 month internship training, after 1 year, she applied for a job in my company. And I took her immediately because she understood the dynamics. And she'd be doing fantastically well. And I could guess that this is a girl that I could use only also for my diversity. And she was a young girl, just 8-9 months industry experience. And I took her for diversity to drive my targets from 2% to 23%. Now look at the difference. I did not do it.
That's automobile industry. That is automobile industry, which is well dominated.
That's an auto industry, and that too from a girl wherein big, highly experienced people are not able to do. Why? From 2% to 23%. How? Because she was ready to learn. It was an area of her interest. She was adaptable. She was flexible. She was willing to learn and accept feedback. Feedback plays a very major role for course correction. And feedback is what requires time, and that is what in industry I see it's lacking. At the end of the year, we expect people to perform, but feedback is not there. And feedback improves people. Right? Now, coming to that last question, that if Bhavna is not there, what happens? Organizations don't run with people. Organizations runs with systems. System drives organization. Any successful organization you talk about, it's all systems. Systems and processes are to be aligned. And therefore, if you have a system wherein your dependability on a person is very high, it means that system is not correct. Either the organization is not clear or the person who has made system is not clear. Second is systems have to be simple and acceptable. And therefore, this is a dynamic subject. Systems and processes needs to be revisited again and again to see that whether you're on track, whether you are following the best benchmark practices, and also systems cannot be bureaucratic systems in today's world. You have to empower people by giving them.
I agree.
You have to empower people. Yeah, I'll give you a very beautiful example. I have my second in line. I recently picked up from ITL, which is an OEM, now taken up by Mahindra. All right, ITL Mohali. Now, he comes with an experience of a very bright boy. He comes with an experience of following systems, only following systems. And I, in my company, is into a stage wherein we are creating systems. Now, what a mismatch. But this boy is bright. He brings with him the knowledge and experience of working in a big company and how interlinkages are there. My company expects him to create systems. Now, what do I do? So I have to sit and give him a feedback, giving him real life situations to think about it and get back to. I don't do spoon feeding. I only give situations. This is an unfortunate part, Dhyanchandji, that there are two ways of learning. One is that you spoon feed a person, correct? The second is you leave the person on his own. अपने आप करो, हम नहीं जानते, तुमको जैसे करना है तुम करके आओ. And then there's a third way of doing it. You arouse curiosity quotient. If you arouse curiosity quotient in people's mind with right questions, by context setting and telling them why is it important, you have shown him a futuristic yardstick which they try to chase, and that brings in curiosity in today's kids. If you say आज ये होता है, अगर आप ये कहते हो आज ये होता है तुमको ऐसे करना है, वो कभी आपकी बात नहीं सुनेंगे. पर आप अगर उनको यही बात को कहोगे कि देखो मैं ऐसा समझ रही हूँ क्योंकि ये इसको ऐसा लेके जा सकता है, you tell me what is in your mind, or you can think about it and let's talk about it tomorrow with some added inputs. You also work, I also work, and we'll sit for 5 minutes.
Got it. I think that's a very wonderful answer and very precise also. I have one more question for
Thank you.
Very soon going to be Dr. Bhavna. Okay, because I heard in the industry that you are going to be a doctor very soon. And it's related to your doctorship.
Let's.
In first world countries,
Okay.
the academic research gets converted into industry practice. And industry closely engages with academics on research work, and academics is very respected. And if there is a problem in the company, they reach out to the colleges and ask them to help the industry in terms of by carrying out their primary, secondary.
I lost you.
What I'm saying is, world over, the trend is that industry thrives on research. And whenever industry is in problem, they reach out to academics.
Industry thrives on?
Whenever industry is in problem, they reach out to academics for primary, secondary, and tertiary research.
Yeah.
In India, it is not so. What are your thoughts about it in case you have to engage quality organizations for solving your organization problems and giving them research-based assignments? And what do you think? Is it worthwhile an idea, or it's a no value idea, or it's an idea whose time has to come?
All right. It's a very nice question and practical one too. I think the idea is wonderful. Academics forms a very, very major base for any organization, its thought process and the way forward, which unfortunately the corporates think that within their team they can do it. But I firmly believe that academicians play a very, very qualitative role. And industry should bank upon academicians because there is where you get right inputs on quality of your work. When I say quality, it could be quality of any area, any fraternity. Businesses are meant to chase numbers. They chase numbers. And in chasing those numbers, they forget the importance of creating freshness into their work culture. The freshness comes with academicians because they are meant to do that. Day in, day out, they are a connecting link. Yes, they are a connecting link between the younger generation and what is going to soon be, along with their own experience, which is of a different generation. And all plugged together, they can show the way to the industry as to what is the way forward. In fact, most of the companies, they talk about strategy management, strategic pillars. What is the strategy? Strategy, the industry thinks if I show numbers and I only show technology, okay, fine, my strategy, I'm going to be futuristic, I'll gain. When academicians talk about strategy, they have a holistic approach. The holistic approaches, it pertains to your economic upliftment, your social upgradation, your other demographics. And therefore, academicians have a very major role to play. In fact, there are organizations which I am also working towards. Manav Rachna University College. I'm trying to be in touch with them to set up an incubation center for one of the engineering projects in which we are going to give one developmental project to the students, carefully monitor them with our input for 2 years, for which we will pay the stipend. And what else you want? Here you have an input of an academician coming. You have an input of a student, a professor, a live industry person, subject matter expert, all put together, coming, which you never know. You have industry problems. You have torque ठीक नहीं है. जैसे मैं अपनी example, torque overrun हो रहा है. अरे भैया torque overrun हो रहा है. Your machines are there. Why don't you get it as a project and involve students? Why don't you give it as a project? Why don't you have industry interface, and why not colleges also make it a practice that out of every...
Okay, so as I understand, I think
that
we'll have
exposure.
to, yeah. She's passing for low network range. Let us give her some seconds. Bhavna ji, can you hear us and see us? Me? You are on mute. You have to unmute your mic.
Is it okay now?
Yeah, perfectly fine. So, as I understand, you are pro research and you believe in giving your business problems to academia to solve by way of knowledge-based interventions. I think we'll have to wait for some time for Bhavna to come in. Please have patience. Yeah, Bhavna. I'm not letting you in. Okay. Just a second. You log in. I will ask someone to let you in. Oh, acha, okay.
Yeah, that's okay now.
Now you're in.
Yeah, I'm in.
देखिए आपकी इस दुनिया में कितनी चलती है. आपने इशारा किया नहीं कि देखिए काम हो गया.
हाँ जी.
Okay, so prima facie, I understand that you are saying that academia and industry must work closely with each other, and
Yes.
industry problems should be solved with knowledge-based research, and academia will be of great help to you. Okay.
Yes.
With this, I think my question and answer session is done. We are at 6:31. Now we have a lot of participants in the forum. I would request now to any participant to raise your hand to ask question to Bhavna ji, whatever comes to your mind, and probably uh, Avinash Pal, who is the host, will see that we follow first in, first out model. And I will also be on unmute so that in case there is an value addition, which आपके साथ तो हो नहीं पाएगा value addition, आप तो खुद ही अपने आप में institution है, और जो भी हो पाएगा कोशिश करेंगे.
नहीं नहीं, इनफैक्ट नहीं नहीं, ऐसा नहीं. इसमें एक इम्पोर्टेंट चीज है जो मैं सोच रही थी, that when I am doing my doctorate and I'm about to complete, and I see a very major miss between when you do a research and when you work in industry is that people do not, the industry people do not know the techniques of research. You have ample of data. You are playing with data day in and day out. You're making some decisions based on your gut feeling. You're using some management jargons. But when you have a structured way of understanding the data and processing that data by using various techniques, you are able to understand. I have used factor analysis for my study. And I had a questionnaire of 23 questions and 2 questionnaires. And when I started working on it, can you beat it? Out of so many factors, I evolved only 4 factors, which is impacting the deaf employment in corporate India, which is a part of the study. Now it gives you such a beautiful output, right? You have structural equation modeling. The industry people are absolutely unaware about it. And I personally feel that if they understand how research is done, they can write wonderful research papers with the outcomes of the daily jobs that they're doing and give to industry those inputs which are real time change factors. This is my biggest learning.
Very nice, very nice. So, with your permission, may I open the forum to
Yes,
audience
yes,
for
please.
questions?
Yeah, please.
So, my dear audience, please, you can ask as many questions as you want to Bhavna ji. She is an eminent HR person and one of the thought leaders in auto industry who has been given Governor's Award. She is best known for her um, system-based working in a male-dominated world. She is best known for working on soft issues like diversity, inclusion, and a lot of other factors which are soft factors in the industry. So please raise your hand and ask questions. Time is important. She is available with us only till 7. Okay, so right now audience doesn't have a question. So let me ask you one question from my side. Because I would
Yeah.
have definitely asked, even if audience would have been in question list. Oh, we have one hand raised. Dr. Seema Kumari. Please, madam, go ahead.
Good evening, sir. Good evening, ma'am. Uh, I have a question that, as you said that, nowadays, sometimes you have to do spoon feeding or something like that, right? So how to handle in that case? Because, nowadays the generation is coming whom we have to hold the hand like spoon feeding only. So how to tackle that scenario?
Okay, nice question. And this is a challenge which we are also facing when it comes to artificial intelligence tools like ChatGPT. Today,
Yes.
I received a mail from somebody who writes the spelling of request as REQREKVEST. Now, this is an outcome of artificial intelligence. Like everything has its pros and cons. So, ma'am, it's a very pertinent question. And spoon feeding. See, I'll tell you, this is at its increasing pace, and this is because of the hollowness. And this hollowness is there because students have diversified interest. So it's like jack of all trades and master of none, wherein the
Yeah.
industry is moving towards a syndrome which is a specialization syndrome, because your generalist activities are all taken over by your um, IT
Technology.
enabled processes systems. It is very, very important that we for our children and we for our students, and for that matter, I for my own team, becomes a personal counselor for them. Whether you like it or whether you don't like it, if you don't do it, we will be creating a generation which is very hollow, right? And therefore, for doing it, there is a component of discipline, which is important. And for being disciplined and creating discipline, people have to be role models. It is difficult, but it is not impossible in today's time. And therefore, when I started this conversation, it's all about interest. It's all about how you develop interest, create interest, and show to them how that is very, very crucial and important. I have a girl in my team, Purnima, and this girl wants to become a professor and she wants to get into an education line. I know that after 6 months she's going to leave me. I know that. But then I she comes to me sometimes wherein she wants a ready-made answer. I don't give her a ready-made answer. I give her a background. Now you come back to me. I would like to discuss with you. And then if she comes back and discusses with me, in case she doesn't, I make it a point to call. Please come. I want to talk about it. And when you start developing this rapport and comfort, students and today's generation, their emotional quotient is not as it was ours. The emotional intelligence levels are not as it was ours. And therefore, you have to handle them in a different manner. Please talk to them. Please look at it what is the curiosity quotient in them. Please gauge their areas of interest. Please guide them if they are wrong, if they are going wrong. Spoon feeding, you'll have to tackle it differently. The way I have been doing it for my children, you have to let loose. सबसे पहले तो spoon feeding इसलिए करते हैं because we have a fear. हम डरते हैं इसलिए spoon feed करते हैं. You have to look at it like this. When you allow a child to swim, उसको push कर दो पानी में, वो अपने आप सीखेगा. हम खुद ही डरते हैं कि गलत हो जाएगा, इसलिए हम उसे spoon feed करते हैं. I give my examples to my son also. When my maid is not there, I don't cook. They cook on their own. If I am there, I'll do. If I'm not, they'll do it. Everybody has to eat. They also have to eat. वो भी भूखे थोड़ी ना रहेंगे, मैं भी भूखी नहीं रहूंगी. तो करो. आपको हेल्प चाहिए तो मैं बैठी हूँ. There is one confidence which you always have to give. तुम चलो आगे, तुम गलत करोगे तो मैं बैठी हूँ या मैं बैठा हूँ. The problem is with today nuclear families. This is a society problem. This is not academics problem. आपके पास बच्चे वो आते हैं जो समाज ने तैयार करके आपके पास भेजे, फिर आप उसमें फर्दर उसमें ऐड करते हो, फिर आप भेजते हो वापस समाज में. और जो समाज से तैयार होके आपके पास आ रहे हैं वो ज्यादा स्पून फेड है. वो ज्यादा स्पून फेड है. एंड दैट्स रीजन बिकॉज वी आर न्यूक्लियर फैमिली. People get married, एक बच्चा है, they are earning well, and therefore there's nothing much you can do about it. But yes, you can at least guide them in a way wherein your rapport with them becomes a very strong rapport. And once that is there, they'll start understanding the importance. I'm really very worried about this generation when I look at people and their upbringings, that we are creating very hollow people, very hollow students. And I sometimes go to some colleges and I do find that for them, हो जाएगा, सब कुछ चलता है. That attitude is really killing all of us. So my suggestion to you, ma'am, would be give them work, do a regular feedback, create a rapport, don't push. And there are some very interesting tests in the market, which are psychological tests. Recently from SP Jain Institute, somebody has developed a test on identifying talent. And I'm doing it for own myself to assess how it is. But it is said that if you're able to assess the talent and navigate the student, you don't require spoon feeding क्योंकि उसका area है. Spoon feeding तब करनी पड़ती है जब उसको लगता है आपको ज्यादा जरूरत है उससे. तब उसे spoon feeding करनी पड़ती है. But you have to only change the rules of the game, and that tactfully one has to do.
Thank you, ma'am. Thanks for
Ultimately, it's all a story about need and want. अगर आप देखो ना, we go back to basics. आपकी जरूरत उसकी जरूरत नहीं है. जिस दिन वो उसकी जरूरत पड़ेगी तो स्पून फीडिंग कम हो जाएगा.
आज डॉक्टर सीमा ने मेरे को अभी व्हाट्सएप किया है कि आज वो खाना नहीं बनाएंगे घर जाके. पति को बोलेंगे आप बनाओ, मेरे बस की नहीं है.
वो बनाना जानते हैं, सब बना लेंगे. इनके गए आज कॉलेज से, वो आज खाना बनाने की जरूरत नहीं है उनको.
Okay, I have one question before anyone in audience asks the questions.
Yeah.
Dr. Seema can raise her hand down. You have to click on your name and again option will come to raise your hand. Now, Bhavna, one or two lines on the tough role which you are playing as daughter-in-law, HR head, mentor, wife, mother, society, your own side of the family. How do you juggle all these balls? I mean, how do you manage it? Because time is limited, right? You only have 24 minus 8 hours where you are awake. So how do you do time management?
All right. So sometimes even I wonder how do I do, but I go to the basics. My basic fundamental of life is karmas.
Okay.
Whatever you do, give in your best. I don't get disturbed because I don't think about consequences. I know that if I've given 100%, the consequence will be good. Even if it will not be good, it will not be bad. And that does not increase my anxiety levels. And therefore, whatever I do happily. Because I love the work what I do, whether I manage my home, whether I manage my children, and whether I do anything. Either I do. If I do well. If I'm not able to do, but I want to do, then I reach out to people who know about it so that they can guide me. And I am a person who would reach out to anybody for improving myself.
Very nice, very nice. Arnav, you have any question for her? Arnav Ghosh?
To juggle a lot of things,
Please,
which
ask.
she already addressed. I think juggling things, a lot of things, as a mother, as a wife, as a mentor, as a HR manager. So because a lot of students in our campus, we need to counsel them. Same thing. Like HR student, they says within 1 day, within 2 days, within 3 days, this job is not in summer intern, so we are not able to cope up. So
yeah.
What to say this young generation, those who are pursuing their MBA, fresh graduate, just joined their summer internship within a week. I am as a representative as a head corporate research department, madam. I am from IMS Ghaziabad University campus.
Oh,
So,
yes, sir.
so I already work with gyms, and I found a lot of students whenever they go for summer intern for
Huh.
1 week, for 2 weeks, they
Huh.
always come with some problem. How to address them? But like within 1 week, within 10 days, or within 3 days, they are not coping up. They say, sir, this is not the position where I should work. Please arrange me some other companies.
See, I'll tell you, sir, it's a very nice question. If you ask me the real industry practice, what happens, and most of the time, again, I say parents promote it.
Correct.
What? I'll tell you what. उनका कोई जानने वाला होगा, मेरी बेटी को 2 हफ्ते का इंटर्नशिप का सर्टिफिकेट दे दो.
Yes.
करेक्ट.
Correct.
ये प्रैक्टिकल है. उसके बाद वो बच्ची आती है या बच्चा आता है, आप उसको बताने की कोशिश कर हो, बिकॉज उसको इंटरेस्ट ही नहीं है, उसके पास पावर है.
Correct.
जैसे कहा जाता है ना, द वे व्हेन वी से पॉलिटिक्स को एकेडमी से अलग रखो,
Yes, हम लोग
कहते हैं
बोलते
ना,
हैं.
उसका कारण इसी तरह से पेरेंट्स को, जब आपने अपना बच्चा, सी हु इज एन एकेडमिशियन इज अ गुरु, जो आपको पढ़ा रहा है, आपको शिक्षा दे रहा है. जैसे आपके माँ बाप आपके गुरु हैं, ऐसे आपको जो पढ़ा रहा है या जिससे आप कुछ सीख रहे हो, वो आपका गुरु है. एंड पेरेंट्स ने जब गुरु के सुपुर्द कर दिया है, then there should be no interference. That is one point. Second is the fake certificates that has become a trend in the industry. I think the professionals, it's an unethical practice, and professionals in industry should understand that they are doing no good to the society. And if you ask me why they are not being able to do it, because 14 days is a time wherein you need to invest with the student. Why उसको इंटरेस्ट क्यों नहीं आता है? इसीलिए नहीं आता है. आप उनको नाम के लिए लेकर आ जाते हो, उसके बाद बैठा देते हो, उसको कह देते हो ये पॉलिसी है, पढ़ लो, एंड दैट्स इट. वो क्यों इंटरेस्ट लेगा? वो सही कहता है स्टूडेंट, वो सही कहता है. अगेन आई से रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी हमारी है. आप उस बिफोर टेकिंग एनीबॉडी फॉर इंटर्नशिप, देयर शुड बी क्लियर कट एजेंडा कि आप कराने क्या वाले हो, और उससे 4 पेज की रिपोर्ट क्या निकलवाने वाले. You are trying to see in those 14 days what has the student grasped. And if you find that during this interaction of 14 days, you find कि उसका area of interest कुछ और है, you should be doing a counseling with a feedback to the college.
Correct.
So then when investment is not there, how will you get output? I was giving an example of this late girl who did this internship. Blank, totally blank. I said, न्यूज़लेटर जानती हो? हाँ. मैंने कहा तुम ड्राफ्ट बना के लाओ. वो ड्राफ्ट बना के लाई, गलत. Then again I told her, make another time, galat. I could guess that she wants to do it, but she's not able to do it. Then I sat with her and I told the importance of it, why it is important. She brought another draft which was better than before. And then before she could complete her internship, she showed me a complete framework and a presentation which I did not ask her to do. That why is a newsletter important for the company, and can you beat it? The work she has done, I have used the same format and I'm using the newsletter.
Got it.
So great. I think it's a vehicle of communication in the organization, and very important aspect of merging the gap between the leadership and the people. Now, Pooja Gupta, do you have any questions for her? Pooja Gupta? Pooja Gupta, if you can hear me, you have any questions for Bhavna ji? देखिए भावना जी, जितना डर गई वो छोड़ के चली गई.
डर गई मेरे से क्यों
See
डरना?
the personality, how strong it is.
No, it's not about strong.
You
It's
आप
all
छा
about
जाते हो,
very
मतलब जहाँ भी
practical.
रहते हो छा जाते हो.
नहीं, वो आंसर उनके इतने अच्छे हैं कि वो पूछना चाह रहे होंगे बटन गलत जगह दब गया होगा जो है. अभी जो इन्होंने बोला, बहुत अच्छी बात बोली कि बच्चे को अगर हम अलाइन कर देते हैं ना उसका पर्पस ऑफ लाइफ से, क्यों,
Exactly,
व्हाई ही एग्जिस्ट, तो बाकी
exactly.
चीजें अपने आप फिर सॉल्व हो जाती हैं. बिकॉज जो वो भटक रहा होता है बच्चा जो है ना, वो अटेंशन और ये सारी बातें, डॉक्टर सीमा ने भी जो क्वेश्चन पूछा, असली चीज वही है कि उसका किस पटरी पे चलना है यही क्लियर नहीं है उसको. व्हाट इज द पर्पस फॉर विच ही एग्जिस्ट. द मोमेंट वी आर एबल टू हेल्प द बॉय और द गर्ल realize what is his or her divine calling, then then you don't need to do anything else in that. That is the only
Right.
thing. Yeah.
Absolutely. आपने बिल्कुल सही बात कही है. इनफैक्ट मेरा अभी गैलप सर्वे मैंने लिया था, and it talks so beautifully. It doesn't talk about improving your weaknesses. It never talks about it. It says, okay, these are your strengths. I want to empower your strengths so that weakness doesn't come in front. See, such a beautiful way of looking at the same thing. And similarly are these young children.
Yeah, what you are saying, madam, there is also called as appreciative inquiry, which
Yes.
is built on the same thing, same thought that you should focus on strengths. And I'm
Correct.
an energy worker also. From point of view of energy, wherever you focus your energy on strength, strengths will multiply.
Absolutely. Well said. Well said. In fact, I was formally put into a coaching program. So when my mentor asked, what's your goal about life? So I said, I want to be a spiritual preacher. That's what I said. Okay. So he said, okay, fine. And then you know what he said? He enabled me to align my company objectives with my personal goals. And there the results were.
Yeah, that's the most important thing.
Yeah, that is
Okay,
important. और आजकल
so we
बच्चे
are
बहुत
at,
lost हैं.
I agree. और सबसे बड़ी रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी इसके लिए जो एनवायरनमेंट है हमारा, मोबाइल, लैपटॉप, यूट्यूब, इंस्टाग्राम, पता नहीं आज की डेट में. माय डॉटर आल्सो fell into the trap of likes and dislikes on Insta. Then I took her phone off. I
I
thought, what I करो. Okay, we are at 18:54, which is about to be 7 o'clock. So I would hand over you into the able hands of Mr. Pawan Arya. So Pawan, over to you, my dear friend.
Pawan sir, kindly unmute yourself.
Thank you so much, sir. It is my privilege to extend vote of thanks to our speaker, Bhawna ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am, for enlightening us about emotional intelligence, adaptability, and curiosity quotient, and so many things we have learned from your experience. And thank you so much, Chauhan sir, for holding the session and make it interesting and interesting, engaging session. Thank you so much, sir. And thank you to all for joining the session. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, everybody, for making this session a very interacting and a lively session. And thank you, Dhyanchandji, ji, Professor Ajay, and to you and all the participants. Thank you so much.
कहानी खत्म नहीं हुई है, शुरू हुई है यहाँ से,
अच्छा,
ध्यान
शुरू.
रखिएगा.
Right, sir.
सीमा जी देख रही हैं कि अब वो भी फरीदाबाद में ही है. सीमा जी किसी भी दिन पहुंचेंगे आपके ऑफिस.